Good to see you. Good to see you. And let's see. Any anything anyone would like to specifically ask about before we start here,
Ask on what level?
pertaining to healing or what I'm doing or what I believe in or anything really? Anything for me?
All of that sounds like good to me. If you could like just tell a little bit about, because this is the first time I've ever attended any of your
Okay,
videos or anything.
great. This is one of the first few times that we've ever done anything like this. Lynn is my manager in a sense, and she is in Canada, and she's helping me a lot, setting things up for me, and we're starting to get going. She's my virtual assistant in many, many areas, which is awesome. She helps me with a lot of my work. And let's see, haven't done this before, except starting off maybe I think about a month ago. We started a month and a half ago. And what we do is just almost similar to a healing circle. And in the healing circle, what I usually do is give a little spiel about what's happening, and you know, if people have questions, and then there's a circle of people all around me, and then I work on one person at a time that might have a dilemmic situation in their body. I won't necessarily approach the emotional unless it's in a private appointment, and the private appointments are on the phone. Approximately 30 to 40% of all my appointments are phone appointments from all around the country and around the world. And the rest are in person, wherever I should be. Most of my appointments are not only in person, but out of town. And I do Phoenix a lot. I do North Carolina. I do Colorado a lot. In various areas, and various Unity churches invite me out, and I do a speaking event and a healing circle, and then I do a workshop and on various topics, mostly spiritual. So this here is similar to the healing circle that I approach, and I can actually work with people very easily just through you being there and me being here. And people can feel changes. Most people tell me that they feel changes in their life of what has happened. And so that's basically it. And also I'll be promoting pretty much the workshop for tomorrow, which is really going to be fantastic for me. And for anyone who attends, I think they'll get a lot out of it. I'll be teaching how to scan people, how to tell timelines on people, and at the various ages, events might have happened in their life where they have aches or pains, and how to work with yourself and other people. That's what the 3 classes will approach.
What time are you going to do those classes at?
They were starting, the class itself is at 6:30 Central.
Okay.
And
Are you in Chicago now?
yes, I am.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'll be in Chicago for another couple days. Then I'm going to Seattle to teach a class and to work with a few people. And it's the same group I've been working with for the past 6 years, every 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
And they just keep having me
For
out.
6 years?
For 6 years, almost 7 years now.
Are they walking on water yet?
No, they approach roadkill and make them alive.
Oh.
Almost as not quite walking on water yet, you know. But
Maybe flying through air.
maybe. I don't know what they're capable of anymore. They're way beyond me. So and they just keep asking me out to teach them, and I say fine. And so every 3 to 4 months. And They love it. I love it. I get to stay with a family there and at a place called Puget Sound, and it's the same people all the time.
Wow.
Sometimes more people and newer people. And then after that, I'll be going to Phoenix not too far in the future, in the beginning of October. Then the workshop tomorrow is going to be pretty neat, and highly recommend it for anyone and everyone. Any other questions? That was a good question. Thank you for asking that.
I have a question on, you mentioned physical, but if you,
I mentioned
you mentioned, you know, you'll work on like physical problems if someone has it, but what if, is that only like, I don't know, like if, like I have no pain anywhere physically,
good.
so, but I'm sure there are physical things going on in my body. Does that count?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah, definitely. I work
okay.
on pain, neurological problems. I work with biological. I work with just, tons of stuff, skeletal.
Well, I know you do it all, but I just wondered, like, because I've seen you do incredible things with mental problems and even situational. And I mean, I remember that workshop you did. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. And you could see that person's face change. It was like something lifted off her.
Right. I don't know who you're talking about, but
Well, I don't remember her name, but it was someone you had called up on stage, and it was like a whole weekend workshop you did it at a hotel.
wow. Okay, good. It might have been Smoky Holiday Inn. I did a lot of them in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a suburb, or maybe Mount Prospect or something.
Possibly.
But yeah, the change was visual, even though it was an emotional change within her. You
Yes.
could actually see a whole change coming over her. It was
I've done-
amazing.
Yeah, maybe a couple thousand workshops, and
And you don't remember everyone?
my propensity for remembering names is just forget it. It's in the gutter. But I remember you from all these years, Lindsay.
Yes. I can't even believe I was that young.
And so you've seen some neat things happen. Yes. And so in any case, please, any questions about anything I can try to answer. This is it's such a short period of time that we'll be having this circle tonight. It's only for an hour. And so please, anything I can try to answer or elaborate on, or questions about the dynamics of healing, or anything that might be on mind or you're thinking.
I mean, I have tons of questions, but I don't want to dominate everything. But
Well,
if you want to start, I could give you something to start with.
all right, yeah, try to fool me.
I mean, I don't know how you believe in karma or don't believe or interpret it. But I've had like a whole change of life events that are not typical, that were not typical to my past at all.
Correct.
And it's like if you were running on a track and suddenly somebody flipped you off the track you were on, and now you're on a new track, and it's one of those what moments where you kind of question everything, and you get challenges from people thinking, like, why are you making all these mistakes in your life? So that's what I've been going through.
In the past 3 months, you've been through your biggest changes of all. And it really started about 5 to 7 months ago. You started noticing changes. messages, but your whole world was kind of turned upside down, if I'm correct. Is that right?
Yes.
And so 3 months ago, it kind of settled in. But the neat thing about all that I'm talking about right now is that all your life, your soul, the purpose of the soul is to carry experience. And so, and to lead you into a greater experience of yourself, to get to know yourself. That's the purpose of it all.
Mhm.
The soul doesn't have feeling. It doesn't have, a personality per se. It's indifferent. And it just knows and keeps diverting you towards your path. You
Mhm.
went so far the 5 to 7 months ago that it was like you were taking yourself in the direction you thought you should go into. Then you left an opening, and the soul said, "Oh, it's okay for me to start guiding and directing in a more direct path now, instead of circumventing and bringing you back. Now it's more direct and bringing you to where you were born to be in, more so."
Oh,
And
good.
that's exactly what's happening with you in your life.
Mhm.
And you're cleaner than you were before,
Mhm.
if that's all correct.
So, I mean, so I'm going to be back on that positive track.
Well, you're
That's
already leading into that now, because you're moving into that, which is
okay.
an awesome thing.
Okay. I felt so derailed, and went through so
I'm sure.
many shocks, that it's like, I can't believe this is happening. And
But now it feels so clean and clear, doesn't it? In
I feel
comparison,
better, like I'm more directed, and
precisely,
and
because
that
you
I'm not
can control
passive
yourself, and your
anymore.
soul has literally led you into being in this more direct path of your life.
Oh, good.
It's obvious,
Oh, okay. I mean, I need that
Yeah, and you
because,
don't try to control it, because then you're
right.
doing it and you're not allowing to be led into it.
Hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
So the idea is not to, okay, now that I want to know how to, what the future is like so I can be better at it.
No,
No,
no, no. Right.
yeah,
You mean just let it happen?
as it is.
Hmm. And then, does meditation and chanting and all these different avenues help a person get to um, that freedom of spirit? Does that make sense?
Yeah, the spirit is already there. It's just, getting ourselves out of the way. The spirit is perfect. You can't screw up the spirit. That's God's.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times New Agers will talk about, oh, I got to heal the spirit. You don't heal the spirit. The spirit is already perfect. That belongs to God.
Hmm.
It's our psyche and our constitution inside we're learning to evolve with, and to grow into a greater freedom within ourselves. That's the purpose of our lives. There's
Hmm.
no such thing as destiny or fate. Hey, Sue, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank
I
you.
can't see you.
Oh,
There's no such thing as,
I can hear you.
all right, there's no such thing as destiny or fate. The only
Oh,
one
okay.
fate that there is, that means there's no control either,
Right.
no superstition. The only thing that's truly real is one destiny, and that's get to know ourselves. That's the purpose of, if you're have a propensity to believe in so-called reincarnation. There's no other rhyme or reason for it unless it's to get to know ourselves.
Right. That's why we're here.
Yes, precisely. So meditation, the purpose of that is to commune with that divinity within ourselves. It's not out there on 3 clouds up to the north and 4 to the west, as some old man up there. It's within ourselves and all around us and encompassed in everything there is. And so our place is to get to know ourselves and to allow that freedom for ourselves to express forth from us. What other rhyme or reason is there? That's the purpose of so-called many times in many places.
So at least the meditation is very positive.
Yes, it is. And, you know, we have the ability to listen to other people's ways of doing meditation, but that was their way. What's your way? The idea is to commune, become one with that divinity within and wonder about it. That's the only way to get to it, is to wonder and let our mind wander deep within ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're here to learn to do in order to commune with it. And then it starts to take over for us. That's all
Right.
it do.
That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I wanted to do.
It's already communing with you. The idea, though, is to open up to hear it and to see it. And so in order to do that, though, it's going deeper within yourself and wondering about it. Let it come to you the deeper that you wonder, and let your mind wander. It'll show you things. It'll tell you things all the time. That's where, or the reason why we have our intuition, is to experience that understanding within us.
Right. That it isn't intuition like God directing you.
It's an inner teaching. That's what intuition is. It's inner teaching. And we have the ability to wonder about things. It's no different than what, say, when you're doing the dishes or in the shower and all of a sudden you have this aha moment. And the aha moment is something that you were wondering about, or you were concerned about, or you thought about, and it'll elaborate. That's referred to as contemplation. That's the activity. Contemplation is the activity of meditation. So as you learn to contemplate, wonder about things, information, when you're doing it purposely, will be given to you and shared with you. Very subtly, it seems so natural. Just like in the shower or doing dishes, you have this aha moment, same thing.
Oh, a lot in the shower.
There you
Yes.
go. That's intuition coming through. You have it naturally. We all do. It's finding it. Good questions.
Yeah. Thank you.
Please. And
Hey, Mark, this is Ellen.
hi,
So
Al.
I want to ask, hi there. I want to ask you, I had a weird thing happen back in April with my left knee. It blew up, became very swollen, basically brought me to a halt. And, you know, and I thought at first it was just energetic and maybe emotional, and couldn't really seem to figure out what it was. Ended up getting so bad, had surgery on it, and I'm still, didn't help. I mean, maybe it did, but from an outward appearance, it didn't. And now I'm wondering, is there still like an emotional lesson or something that I haven't learned? Because I'm in my 5th month and I'm still pretty much homebound and kind of dragging around this left leg, or knee, I should say.
Personally, I don't want to blame everything on the universe. So what because I know that we really can't. It's not God's fault all the time. So in other words, what I'm saying is that it's not always something to work out. Maybe, see, we're born into these bodies that are so fallible on this dense orb that we live on, and this small dense orb in the middle of the universe, of our universe. And we're subject to gravitational stuff, we're subject to chemical stuff, we're subject to all these little things around us. And sometimes the body goes bad. The body is not perfect. Matter of fact, the day that I die, when I die, I have this 8.5 by 11 sheet of yellow paper in my back pocket with questions on it. I want to know the reasons why. And I'm taking it with me, and I'm not leaving until I get answers. So, you know, whether it be the pearly gates or the gates of hell, I don't care what they call it. And so I want my
Is a dog online?
I think so. And so here I am, wondering about things like teeth. Why are we born with, the structure of our teeth now? Why can't we just have one lousy bone going across? There's faux pas that God has, in our creation, but it's our evolution. And what we're growing into, who knows? And, what we've evolved from, do know to some respect. Hey, Lynn, are you there, hon?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm wondering about Swati.
Sorry, say it again.
I'm wondering about Swati.
Oh,
Hey, Swati.
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, well, my dog's barking.
All right. And so here we have this body that falls apart at times, and everyone is born with a different biological system each time. And so our bodies aren't made to perfection yet. So things are going to happen. And biological things, neurological things, whatever. Sometimes we're born into disease, and it's not anyone's fault. And that's just the way it is. But people like us have the ability to help someone most often feel better, and with what they were born into, even developed into later in life.
And then what you're saying with being born into something is totally separate from somebody who really abuses the body and
There's still things that they're bruised with, even when that they're bruised, or they have a propensity towards, and they find out later in life with their distresses or diseases, and or chronic situations even. Sometimes we are subject to it in the womb, pre-birth, and through being subject to it, say, if the mother is being abused or in a situation that creates a shock trauma for her, that affects us too, or a father or someone or something else, something that we witness early in life even, that affects us as well. And so it will play out later in life as a distress in our bodies.
And would the mother's mood have to do with that too? Let's say someone who didn't want to be pregnant.
Yeah, same thing that we're talking about. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Ellen? Almost. Ellen?
I would say not. Well, sort of. I guess I was just wondering, since it's not healing, from an outward perspective, if it really was more, more of an emotional, something that I haven't either learned or let go of, or whatever those words are.
I don't buy that. Now, you said that's your left leg?
Yeah, knee.
Okay, on the knee. And is it swollen right now?
Yep.
Okay. As soon as you begin to sense something, let me know. It's going to be real subtle or real abrupt.
Okay.
And you can close your eyes for a moment and tell me as soon as you begin to sense something happening. If you should.
I feel something in the backside of the knee.
All right. What does that feel like to you?
A little bit of a pain.
And keep me updated on that, please. What happened right there?
Now I felt something right under the kneecap area.
And now there's a little pulsing.
Yeah.
That's right.
And now it feels, yep, I feel something on the front of the knee, but also on the back side of the knee.
Oh.
And it moved from the right side to the left side a little bit.
Okay. And do you also feel like not to put words into your mouth, and be candid with me, do you also feel like a little flow?
Yes.
And that's,
Yep, I do.
yes, that's life force moving through you, where it was a little log jam. Let's see if this helps you.
Now it's pulsating on the right inside. So when you're looking at the knee, on the right side is where I feel more of that energy moving. On the knee, on the right side of it.
Correct.
If I'm actually looking down at it, it'd be my left.
Now, do me a favor, just for a moment, and don't stress yourself, your knee, but can you stand up and tell me if you notice any difference in the way you feel or sense?
Yep, I can always stand, but it's been locked at about 20 degrees, so it's been over 4 months that I've been able to straighten it.
All right, can you move around a little bit and tell me if you notice a difference in there now?
Yeah.
What's it like now compared to a few minutes ago?
I would say there's a lot more, feels like more pressure, but it's still locked, and maybe it's straightened a little bit more, but is at about 20 degrees, maybe at, 15 degrees.
Okay, all righty. Have a seat now, please. And
Okay.
let's try one more thing, okay? And tell me what happens.
I feel something around, like in the middle of the knee by the kneecap. Now the pressure in the back is no longer there.
Now,
Wow.
stand up for a moment, please. And tell me if you notice any difference in your knee, please. And
What did you say? You want me?
stand up, please, and just move a tiny bit, not to hurt yourself, though, but move around a little bit and tell me if you notice a difference in there.
Okay.
And be candid, please.
Yeah, there is something. It feels like I might have more movement, but because of the swelling, maybe it won't go quite straight yet.
All right, so let's see.
Because it's a little over 3 inches
Okay.
bigger than it should be. So that's a significant amount.
Yes, yes, definitely. Let's see if it doesn't change over the next 24, 48 hours.
Okay, I will.
Or,
Thanks.
and if you do notice a difference in it, let me know, and we can actually set something up if you're interested.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Good, my pleasure, my pleasure. Does anyone else have any questions or comments about anything? Swati or Colleen?
I have one question.
Please?
You use the word log jam. How do you, do you get a sense, like when you tune in, that there is like some sort of a blockage in somebody, like when you go to scan, that you can sense? You called it a log jam?
No, I don't know anatomy. I don't know anything medical. I'm completely ignorant. At one time, I was married to a neurologist, and the only thing, everything that I know medically is what I heard her talking about in phone consults. And so,
Okay.
I'm totally ignorant medical stuff. And so what I'll see inside of myself is when I'm really focused and working on a person. If I can get to that place, is to, or I'll see like it's like another dimensional overset where that's relating to in the body. I don't know. It's whatever part I'm working on. If it's a little muscle in there, I won't know it's a little muscle.
Okay.
If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, it does.
Good. Hi, Colleen. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Well, good to hear you. Good to see, almost see you.
Yeah, I'm there.
All right. All right. And so here we have, you know, we all have, see, and what I just described is what I see in that oversetting, other dimensional, you know, piece of, it's not even matter. Maybe in its realm it's matter, but that's intuitional. We all have that within us. And we all have those pictures and understandings and words. It's just the idea and the ability to focus on them, to realize how real they are when they come to us. And when we do start to recognize the reality of all that stuff, then those pictures and those and the sounds, they become more obvious and last longer as we practice. What makes me better than anyone else, or excuse me, anyone that I know of or have heard of, is I practiced it more. I trusted it. That's the only thing. And
Okay.
I do that quite a bit in the workshops that I do, and the one that, you know, that's coming up starting tomorrow. I teach that as well as we go on. And that's the intuitional work. That's the inner teaching work. It shares with us freely. It's always there, 24/7, all the time. Always has been and always will be, for guidance and direction.
So you felt her injury, but you're saying that, you know, you obviously don't have see, you know, through vision, so you're not going to be identifying the difference of cartilage and ligaments, but you feel the injury.
Yeah, very, very rarely will I be able to see a body part.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't know what it's called. I just know what it looks like. I can probably draw it out, rarely. And then the person will tell me, you know, what it is or what they've been told, or they'll take that to a doctor, and sometimes doctors say, "Oh, I know, yeah, let's work with that," you know, or whatever.
So if you were to feel somebody's bones, like their skeletal situation,
Sometimes I'll
would
see a
you,
crack or something, or a tear.
or would you see bones that are thinning?
See, I see what a situation is. I don't like to name it because
Mm-hmm.
that's not the true story of it.
Oh,
The true story of it is the life of it. You know, it's seeing it whole. It's seeing it breathing. If that makes sense.
it's interesting.
Yeah. Please. Kipper, how you doing?
Oh, my shoulder is killing me. The
Oh,
middle
get
of my back, my shoulder, my elbow.
Okay,
Oh,
time to go.
okay. You said
Well,
one thing, but it's all connected.
the
It's
whole
work
big body, I'm
related.
telling you. You know, write out a list when you know, the day that you go, write out a list and have it for God waiting for you.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
that's what I'm
You
doing.
mean you can tell them we want a new body?
But it's not right, and you want to know why.
Why? Just why?
Why? Well, you know, get a Dremel and with a saw on it and cut it off.
No, no, no. Uh-uh.
How's your wrist, the carpal tunnel?
It skipped my wrist. My wrist is fine, but it jumps to my elbow and then to my shoulder and then to the like middle of my back.
So what is it, your right elbow?
Yes.
Okay. So I want you to do it my way. And what I'd like you to do is to rest your arm on your lap or on a table. Can you do that?
Okay.
You tell me if you sense anything happen. Do you feel energy when I work with you? Like,
Yes.
all right.
Uh-huh.
Now,
I feel like it's like heat. It comes, it gets warmer and warmer.
all right. So now, keep me updated.
Okay. I feel like I got goosebumps.
Uh-oh.
Don't know what that is. Yeah, I feel my elbow getting warmer. Yes. And the muscles around it.
Awesome. Do you have arthritis?
Yes.
Wow.
I have osteoarthritis.
I used to have that.
Oh, cool. Did you send it to me?
It was way before I met y'all. It was about 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
The doctor actually, when I went in there, I had osteoarthritis with fibromyalgia, so severe I couldn't get out of bed.
Oh,
And
no.
one day I decided to take a day off. I was seeing people 7 days a week, 14 hours a day, every hour in the hour. I didn't realize I could take a break. And so one day I decided I can't do this anymore. So I took a day off. And here I am laying in bed, just feeling half dead, hurting so bad. Then someone started ringing my doorbell. And as they were ringing it, they were knocking and ringing the door. They wouldn't stop. And I yelled out at my window, "Go away. I don't have any appointments today."
That's welcoming.
And they kept ringing and knocking at the door. And so I literally I couldn't get up by myself. So I had to roll out of bed. I crawled to my bedroom door, yanked the bathrobe down, rolled into it, wrapping myself, crawled to the front door. I was hurting so bad. And I lifted my hands up to there we go. I lifted my hands up to the handle and lifted myself up. I answered the door. There was a woman standing there. I'd never seen her before. Didn't know who she was. She just looked at me and she said, "Look at you. You can't even take care of yourself." And she walked away. And I didn't know who she was or anything else. I had no appointment scheduled. And so I was up then. So I walked to I went and showered, and then I kneeled before this little altar that I had. I said, "God, kill me. Take my life." I felt so bad. And then, I mean, the day prior, let me explain this. The day prior to that, I went to a rheumatologist, and he says, "Mark, I want to show you something." And after looking at me, he didn't even evaluate me or nothing. He said, "I'm going to show you something." He aspirated with a needle in between my knuckle joint, and he put it under a microscope. And he said, "Look at this." And it was just a bunch of yellow crystalline that was coming off my joints. And he says, "Your knuckles are deteriorating. You have a severe, very severe osteoarthritis, and you have the fibromyalgia." And I was speechless. And so he gave me a ton of medications to take. And so I took them home, and then I just went to sleep instead of taking them. And I stayed in bed until that next morning when that happened. And so I refused to take them. That was my choice at that moment. And I just kneeled before this little altar. I said, "God, kill me, take my life." And so right then, I heard this trumpet blast in my head, and it shattered. It felt like it was shattering my teeth. It felt like it was shattering every cell in my brain, my body, everything. It was a shock. And then I just went back to sleep. And then what happened then? I kneeled before the little altar again. I kept saying, "Take my life." And this is the second time I was saying, kill me, take my life. Because I knew I couldn't function like this. And I'm supposed to be this great healer, and all this is happening to me. And so I just got a voice in my head that said, "You're not even taking care of yourself." Just like that woman said, "Look at you, you can't even take care of yourself." And the voice said, "You're not even taking care of yourself." So then I decided I'm going to go to the movies. I'm going to do something for me. And so every day I either went to the movies or went for a walk in a park. And that's when I was living in Wheeling, Illinois, many, many years ago. And after about a week, I just started feeling better and better and better. And ever since then, I've hadn't had a symptom. Because I was doing something for me.
Yes, I got it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Blessing. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm curious, how does your elbow feel?
Elbow feels fine. The shoulder feels great.
Wow.
Little bit of tension still on my back, but hey, it's a lot better now.
You are one marvelous woman.
Thank you.
You are.
Thank you.
And tonight I'll also do a prayer work for you as well.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure, Kip. Please, any questions or comments or anything, please.
Hi, it's Mary. Can you hear me?
Hi, Mary.
Hi, I'm new to the group. Everybody,
It's a
hello.
good group too. So welcome.
Oh, okay. I live in Maryland, and
Wow.
and the way I found Mark, I have Audible, and I had purchased his book, Awakening the Healer Within,
Thank you.
and I thought it was,
Audio CD book?
yeah, and I thought it was just beautiful, and it really resonated with me.
Thank you.
And I have some health challenges, and I made a phone appointment with you, and I wasn't able to come down to Wilmington. I wanted to do the apprentice program, but I thought the next best thing would be to join these healing circles and the online work, and maybe one day I'll meet you in person.
I also do private apprentice training as well, all the way up to groups of 6 or 7 or 8 the max. Most likely 6, but I do individuals as well, if you're ever interested.
Oh, yes, and I guess my question, or maybe something I'm just struggling with, is my own belief, and sometimes I think I judge myself that maybe I will
Or
be healed.
maybe-
I'll be
maybe
healed
it's
if
really-
I'll
Maybe
be
it's
healed.
really that you prejudged.
Or no, it's more like if I'm stronger, or if I have more faith, or if I have stronger beliefs, then I will be healed if I have more faith.
What I mean by prejudge is maybe it's the doubt that we're talking about. Prejudgment is, like, for me, it's what you're saying as well, but prejudgment also pertains to having judging ourselves prior to an event or prior to a conversation, or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Yeah.
see, I believe that you have a lot of the power, the force, the energy within you waiting to express. And it loves you tremendously. That God self inside. And sometimes we have to step out on it and be ourselves without the doubt, without the fear. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue. I apologize for interjecting.
No. So as I watched you work with the two other ladies, I was like, me, I want to go, me, please, me.
Sure.
Send me your healing. I'm dealing with cancer, so that's, I'm like, well, that's a pretty big one. And I'm just very open to, I think I'm open to healing by alternative means other than the medical profession.
Yes.
Because I feel like the medical profession has let me down. And so, like, one of the things I am working with is forgiving the doctors that I've had.
Okay.
So I know that's part of my journey, is forgiving people and maybe forgiving myself as well.
Is
And
that you?
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing that out there to everybody.
Yes.
I don't know any of you all, but it seems like you wouldn't be here unless you were maybe searching for answers too.
You always.
Mhm.
Me too. Always. What I'd like to do is, if you don't mind, would it be okay to express the type of cancer you're referring to?
Yeah, I have breast cancer.
Left?
That's it's stage 4. It's moved into my lung.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you close your eyes for a minute? I'd like to put my hands on your head if you don't mind.
Sure.
All right. And tell me keep me updated, hon. Did something just transpire?
I feel warmth.
Is it throughout your body?
It's mostly on my head.
Okay.
Here. Yeah.
All righty. Let me do it one more time, okay?
Okay.
And keep me updated.
I feel it in my chest right here.
Good. All right. Slowly open up your eyes, gently. There you go. If you're ever interested, I would love to have a session with you.
Oh, yes. We just had that one short chat, but yeah, maybe I'll drive up to Chicago.
All right. All right. Good.
Anyway, it's nice to meet everybody.
You could always stay at my place if you want.
Oh, are you in Chicago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am. And not far from Mark.
Oh, great.
Really?
Yeah. I'm in Rogers Park,
Oh,
but right at the border.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mark, what part of Chicago do you live, Mark?
I'm in Skokie,
I
which
know.
is,
Yep.
and Skokie is northeast. Excuse me, it's north of the city. There is no east. The east is the lake.
Right.
So it's a couple miles west. North, a couple miles west.
Yeah.
Got
And
it.
it's in Skokie, and Skokie. And I have this is my home office. I have I live in a 3-story apartment. I'm on the first floor. And I love it. So, in any case, good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me work with you, Mary.
Thanks, everybody.
Grateful.
And I do mean it for Mary that if she contacts you and needs a place to stay, she's welcome to stay here.
Oh, thank you. It's very kind.
Wonderful.
Maybe I should get up there before winter.
It's not that bad.
Like, take the wind off the lake.
All right. And all right. Let's see. We have about 1 minute left, 1.5 minutes. I really want to thank everyone very, very much for tonight.